Good morning. Thank you for allowing me to speak here. These are my conflicts of interest. Please note that I serve many masters and many of them have a say in what I do. Let me start off with this particular thing. It says, when you're a physician, our challenge is we get information from so many areas. The role of a physician is to distill this information and ensure that the right product and the right message and the right advice reaches our patients. Unfortunately, science has helped us very little in this area. And this is the truth. In fact, science has hurt sometimes. The reason is not the science itself, but the context in which we do science. A piece of information is valid only in the context in which it was tested. If you try to extrapolate that information into another context, there are several other rules that come to operate that will make us change our opinion. I think this is the fundamental truth about using medications in diabetes. And if we forget this, we fail. Sanjay was talking about BKA and SGLT2. And I remember reviewing the case studies of BK and SGLT2, I talked about it in the end, and I realized that would I have used this drug in this context in my patients? And the answer in each of those was no. Bad things happen to people who use the right drug in the wrong place. I mean, that is the message we need to do. So, based on the concept, let me start. This is a 56-year-old man, type 2 diabetes for 8 years. Recent onset is 3 months of MI, heavy vascularization. This is his BMI on 3 drugs. Why have I chosen this patient? Because we have used OHAs for many years. In a low-risk individual, these are remarkably safe. If they were not, they would not come to the market. So in the 30-year-old man with diabetes, probably any drug works. The 40-year-old man with diabetes, most of the drugs are probably good. That is where the safety is not called into question. There is a safety called into question in the high-risk patient with multiple problems. And so this is where I focus. Let us take the example of the ACCORD trial. In the ACCORD trial, we showed that intensive therapy was worse. The most important reason intensive therapy was worse was in patients who had long duration of diabetes. But if you look at it carefully, you will also notice that intensive therapy was okay in patients who did not have an MI. It was bad in patients who had a previous myocardial infarction. So the context. Second, patients who were good subjects, whose A1C was fairly decent, they did fairly well with intensive therapy. Those who were resistant to the action of drugs, which itself sets apart a high-risk group, did poorly. So the substrate the soil is as much important as the seed. The substrate is as important as the seed. So we want to understand the effect of drugs in a situation. You should have data that looks at the drug in that situation. And there is no role for emotion. So you take this patient, the target is 7.5 per hour. It's not 7, it is not 6, it is not any other. Now, one of the interesting things that we saw in these studies is that hypoglycemia is done. That the hypoglycemia approximately caused the MI, hypoglycemia was 1. And this is something that we know from many drugs, that if you have hypoglycemia, the risk of a particular event is high. I won't go into large trials, but a trial that I really enjoyed. The reason I enjoyed this trial was, at the end of it, I thought, why didn't I think of this before? Here is a man who took patients, he plonked a CGMS monitor on them, he plonked a Holter monitor on them, and then started comparing whether the ischemic events were occurring at the time of hypoglycemia. And he showed that if you have hypoglycemia, the risk of ischemic events was high, and it correlated very well with the hypoglycemic episode. So clearly, in someone who's young, hypoglycemia may just be a nuisance. In somebody who's had a myocardial infarction, having hypoglycemia is bad. So that's an issue. So to go back to our patient, has a long duration of diabetes, so the A1C needs to be 7.5 above. His risk of hypoglycemia is low, he doesn't have any failure, he doesn't have anything, but the consequences of hypoglycemia in this patient are very high. Third, the most important issue you need to think about in this patient is resuscitation. So let's look at the drugs. The question we need to ask is, are OHAs safe in somebody with an MI? We know from the, I'm not going to talk about injectables today, but we know from the Origin trial that insulin is safe. But are these other drugs? Are sulfonylureas safe? The question is, should we sweep all these drugs with one brush? Second, are thiazolidine are these important? Last, are DPP-4s important? So let's go on to each of these. The first thing to remember is, whether we like it or not, sulfonylureas cause hypoglycemia. The more you use sulfonylureas, and what is even more interesting is this point that we don't talk about. When we talk about things, we talk only about the big picture. But there is a basket. In the first few years, the risk of hypoglycemia with sulfonylurea is very low. In the next 15 years, which is when the patient has complications, the risk of hypoglycemia with sulfonylurea is high. It is higher with glibenclamide. It is lower with the newer agents. So clearly, the one thing that you don't want to be doing in a high-risk patient is using an older sulfonylurea. Now, the question about sulfonylureas and mortality has been going on for years and years and years. This is from 1961. But the question is, does it really cause cirrhosis? We will never find out the correct answer simply because there will never be a TCOS or a saber-tooth like a prospective randomized trial because it's generic. There is no reason for the manufacturer to do this. So you have to go on it. So let's take this one. The first thing is that if you use sulfonylurea as older generation, there is, when compared to metformin, a risk of CV outcomes. But what a lot of people don't overlook, especially because, let us say you have a favorite daughter. If she makes a mistake, overlook. We are blind to the mistakes of people that we love. Everybody loves metformin, but how many of us know that there is no data on metformin and CV outcome other than UKPTS34A? But if you look at UKPTS34B, there is something very interesting that occurs. Well, metformin alone did not worsen cardiovascular outcomes. Metformin plus sulfonylureas, the RR was 1.88 to 2. So clearly, this combination seems to have problems. We have heard about lactic acidosis. So lactic acidosis is not a big thing. However, I would still not use metformin inside a hospital. But this is the recent meta-analysis that looked at metformin and CV that looked at a multiple number of studies. It says metformin alone does not worsen or improve cardiovascular outcomes. Remember the UKPTS34A. After that was when we started saying metformin is the drug of choice because it doesn't, it's even cardioprotective. That data does not exist. No drug that we know today is cardioprotective. But we know that metformin alone does not cause problems. But we also seem to know from these meta-analysis that there is a signal for metformin plus sulfonylurea actually having worse outcomes. It's possible that these were all studies using glibenclamide. Maybe the newer studies we won't know because the advanced trial, this particular data was not available. We know that the signal was neutral. But remember again, the sulfonylurea you use glibenclamide with metformin in a high-risk patient, it causes problems. Now this is another interesting study. This is a prospective cohort looking at sulfonylureas and their CV. They said overall there is some slightly increased risk of cardiovascular outcomes. But look at this. In women, in this subset, when used with sulfonylurea plus metformin, the RR was 3.39. This is not a retrospective study, prospective study. Well done study. So there are challenges to the way we think. Will it be important in a 35-year-old premenopausal woman who's having regular cycles, who's on a statin? No. Is it important in a postmenopausal woman who's had a recent MI? Yes. That is why I said context is important. The soil is as important as the seed. Let's look at sulfonylureas themselves. The one thing we know is that one of the predictors of mortality after myocardial infarction is sulfonylureas. But Remember that all the studies were done with older sulfonylureas. When you use a newer sulfonylurea and compare it to an older sulfonylurea, the risk is less. What we don't know is a comparison of newer sulfonylureas versus newer gliptins or newer SGLT2 because that study has never been done. See how we try to make interpretations with limited data and then we confuse ourselves. Why is this problem with sulfonylureas? It is not just the absence of data, it is the absence of wrong kind of usage of data. And for that we have epidemiologists to blame. And then there is a whole group of writers in they call meta-analysis makers. Their only job is to look at all the trials and do meta-analysis. I tell you what Stevenson did in a few minutes. What these meta-analysis don't account for and they won't spend time on it. There are three major biases. One is an immortal time bias, there's a latency time bias, and there's a bias on time bias. When you factor in, you can pretty much make any drug look bad. So there are some ways to overcome. This is a network meta-analysis, the correct way to do a meta-analysis. And this shows that overall risk of sulfonylureas alone does not worsen cardiovascular outcomes. So in the broad population we are saying. But you look at this carefully, you will notice that they have used lidocaine as a reference group. You will see the older drugs are not safe, the newer drugs are fairly safe. Again, this is using when compared to glycopyrrolate, not compared to other drugs. So, this is what I would look at sulfonylureas at this point of time. Overall, in my population of all patients, they are safe. In someone who's had an MI, I am concerned. If I have to use a sulfonylurea, I will use a newer sulfonylurea. This is my first inference from the data. Let us go on to other problems with studies. Many of you remember this. This is Steven Nissen, who said that rosiglitazone causes one man army destroyed an entire crop. It deserved to be destroyed because GSK was doing all sorts of shenanigans with the data. They were not publishing the right data, they were withholding data, they were threatening people to have negative views about it. All these things happened. But this data was also not the right data because the way the meta-analysis of the structure was in favor that if you had negative data, it was moved higher. The weightage given to studies with negative data was much higher. Therefore, this happened. But we now know that with the record trial, that this is not true. That overall, rosiglitazone is probably safe in the general population. We don't know what it is doing in someone who's had it in mind, but in the general population it's safe. But, and this is from 3 studies, but remember that the risk of heart failure with the glitazone is high. And the predictors of heart failure with glitazones are 1. Previous myocardial infarction. 2. Previous congestive heart failure. 3. Renal failure. 3 things. You have these 3 things. Do not use a glitazone in someone because the risk of heart failure is high. Remember again the context. In a 35-year-old man who has diabetes for 2 years, glitazone is safe. In a 70-year-old man who has myocardial infarction, think 2 times. Context. Bladder cancer, data is not very clear, but most people think it is safe. There are contrary views even now occurring. Simple way to remember, if someone has a risk of bladder cancer, very, very heavy smoking, a previous history of bladder cancer treatment, be careful about using it. Even more important, in an older person, the risk of fracture is high. A woman more than 50 years of age, the use of pyruvate diodes increases fractures. This is not some, and remember these are osteoporotic fractures on EMD, so this is it. In men, this is fairly not a big issue. This thing is 1.37, but I was saying. Let's come to gliptins. The reason gliptins were very, very big on in the cardiovascular safety part especially is because the MACE of the initial presentation all showed that there will be some protectiveness. To add to this and to the pharma hype that went along for the last 10 years, somebody actually discovered GLP-1 receptors in the cardiovascular system and said, look at it as an action. Even more important than DPP-4 being CD34+, it seemed to have multiple actions everywhere. And there were a lot of studies, including this by Rashad Moynihan, that said that at least in the animal and in vitro data, that the DPP-4s and the GLP-1s were protecting the heart. For example, this interesting study showed that DPP-4 knockout reduced steatosis, inflammation. A whole bunch of stuff happened. But thankfully for us, the FDA came. The FDA, after having burned itself with the reciprocity data, came with a mandate and said, it's not enough that you say all these things. If you want me, I'm okay with the fact that your drug is safe in other populations. I want you to show that this is safe in a high-risk population. And they said this. They used something most people have a problem understanding and make it as simple as possible. Whenever you have a statistical value, there are two numbers that occur outside the statistical value. A first value and a second, a lower value and a higher value. This actually tells us what is the reason or the chance that this is occurring as an action of the drug. Now, if you want to have a drug that is showing benefit, it should really be less than 1. But in a statistical parlance, the FDA said, look, I don't want you to show 1. If you show this is less than 1.3, I think you're safe. You don't need additional studies. If you are between 1.8 and 1.3, I will give you a chance to do a study and prove that this is safe. If you are more than 1.8, please don't come. So this is what they said. And so all these trials were done not because of pharma companies' generosity to us, but it's because they were mandated by the FDA to do it. But this is important because it helped us learn so much in the last few years. What it did was, remember again, in a 30-year-old man with 2 or 2 years of diabetes, with no other problems, all these drugs are safe. So you don't have to worry about it. In someone who's 70 years old, who's had an MI, do you want to know these safe? So that is the question. So these studies were very, very well done. And remember the FDA, they knew you were playing the game. For example, Lina tried to do a comparison with sulfonylureas. He said you can't do it. We want a placebo comparison. Then they said you need to have the A1Cs exactly the same. So they were fairly stringent, and I think that was good for us. There were 3 trials I talked about. I think you've heard most of it, I didn't talk about. The first important thing to remember is these are non-inferiority trials. None of these, there were some superiority endpoints, but they were never reached. They were only done to show, and right so, that in 3 years, no drug is going to show the superior. Second is, it is like, it is like Gemini Ganesan acting in the same movie. I love Gemini Ganesan, acting in the same movie as NGR. Who will people notice NGR? Why? In patients who are on statins already, no drug is going to be able to show that it is beneficial. That is why Fibrates died. That is why Niacin died. Because there is a superstar there called statins which is actually working. So let's look at this. These are non-inferiority trials. The event driven, the number of events, so which means the trial will go on till you achieve 600 MRs. Not years. Which means what do people choose? They will choose the highest risk patients. So this is what they did. The first was for severity, it was done by the Braun group. They did exactly the same thing. They said, let's choose the highest risk patients, let's look at it. They showed, good news was, they showed that there was no difference between placebo and intensive care, and saxagliptin in CV events. That's good. And that tells us that in the highest population, this works. 2 minutes, yes. The one issue was the heart failure issue. Remember that Saxa has a lot of explanations for this, but I think this needs to be described in the prospective randomized trial. Saxa did show that there was a signal for heart failure. There can be lots of explanations, but this is the truth. This exam trial, even more interesting, this was patients who already had an MI against it. There was a signal towards heart failure, was not clearly, but nothing more. T-cost, again, exceptionally well done trial. Primary endpoint, longer trial, no difference in cardiovascular outcomes. This is hospitalization for heart failure. Contrary to Saxa, no signal for heart failure. Well, before TCOS came, somebody asked me, do you believe that TCOS will have one failure? I said, I have to see year by year, which means that in science at the first year at the highest heart failure, in the second year at the third, lesser and then lesser. But in TCOS you don't see that. There is no such kind of sequence saying first year high heart failure. It's completely neutral study. Other interesting stuff, risk of acute pancreatitis. The intention to treat analysis versus the protocol analysis, same as placebo. That does not mean you're not going to see acute pancreatitis. You will see acute pancreatitis. A few patients in your practice will distinct, and there is no way in the world you can predict it. But don't use it in somebody who has acute pancreatitis. There are some other issues, hypoglycemia, time to insulin was lower, time to HbA was lower, pancreatitis was lower. I won't spend time on SGLT2 except to tell you that genital infections are an issue. CV safety seems to be good, but these studies are still pending. So just to finish up, this is what I want to say. In this patient, I would use sulfonylureas as a last option, but with caution. Metformin alone is great. With an SU, I'll worry about it. I'm pretty tired. I am not strong enough to avoid to take it. DPP force, I'm going to say yes. I'm going to have this caveat in my mind about Saxa and heart failure. SGLT2, I'm going to wait till I get more data. Insulin is still my rock solid that I have. Therefore, this is my curriculum for you. At the close of it, I hope this was useful. I hope I touched on too many things because and a lot of things that were covered in the whole conference. But I hope at the end of it there was a little light from the forward. Thank you for having me. I'm very grateful.